This is the Brazilian coffee from the Blue Wonder Coffee and Bean Roastery. I went out of my way just to get this particular brand and, of course, particular flavor. I'm going to use this for my next video. In the meantime, I'm going to show you guys how I got there. This might be the first navigational video with an actual map. Keep in mind it still is a good idea to use your own navigation tool like Waze or Google Maps because I come from somewhere and that somewhere may not be the same place as where you are from. This is the route that I'm planning to use in order to get to that location. I started off from Brixton, and from the Brixton place, I just traveled along until I reached this bridge. This bridge might look familiar because this was in some of my videos, actually in one of my videos. And this is called the Kalayaan Bridge. We just need to keep staying on the right side of this bridge until we see this fork. We need to travel to the right side of the fork, of course. Once we reach the end of this particular bridge, all you need to do is to turn right. Besides, you can't even go straight ahead. The flow of traffic will prevent that. And once we're off the bridge, I'd like to welcome you to the Kalayaan Avenue. This route is pretty much straightforward. No need to turn right, no need to turn left, you just need to go straight. That is until you reach a certain flyover. While we're waiting for that flyover, let me explain why I'm showing you the directions on how I got to that particular coffee place, the Blue Wonder Coffee Bean and Roastery. It is embarrassing because I've been to this location multiple times. The place I'm talking about is called Cartimar. It's a shop that specializes with pets, animals, and it's also a shop that specializes on bicycles and sometimes other brand of clothing. The reason I'm talking about this is because it's a little embarrassing for me. So, like I said, I've been there multiple times and never realized there was a wonderful coffee shop within that area. The only reason I found out about it is because a friend of mine actually told me there was a coffee shop. Well, that's part of exploring. We learn things that sometimes we neglect is actually sitting right next to us. I edited this video to make the Kalayaan Avenue a little shorter. In reality, it's a little longer than this, but no one will appreciate a very long drive. So, like I said earlier, we need to find a flyover, and this is it. All you need to do is to stay left and you'll go up the ramp. Just keep going forward and sooner or later we'll reach what we call the Buendia Avenue. There's no way to turn in any other direction in this particular area. This flyover will actually land you in the Buendia Avenue. Unfortunately, I don't have footage of this flyover converging with Buendia Avenue. Let's just say my camera turned off automatically. We are actually driving to the Makati area. Makati is the business capital of the Philippines, filled with high rise buildings and, of course, different shops and other services. And this is Buendia Avenue. We just need to go forward without stopping. Well, we do need to stop. There is a car in front of us. The Blue Wonder Coffee Bean and Roastery is actually a franchise. There are lots of coffee bean and roasteries around my area. Despite having multiple Blue Wonder Coffee Bean and Roastery in my area, I still prefer to go to the one in Cartimar because it's not just coffee that I'm actually dealing with right now. I have to buy some further materials for my aquarium. Not to mention, the one in Cartimar is well hidden. Once you reach Cartimar, you might not even find it. So I guess it might be a good idea if I show you how to find it. Because it's actually hidden in one of those buildings in Cartimar. Once we get there, you'll know what I mean. There's another reason why I'm actually trying to get to the Blue Wonder Coffee Bean and Roastery. There's lots of Starbucks in my area, but I want to have a taste of coffee that came from the Americas because there's an interesting story, and we're going to tackle that one in the next video. As you can see, Buendia Avenue is kind of bit of a stretch. It might take some time before we can actually reach Cartimar. So what I'm going to do is zoom it a little, make it seem like as if it's shorter. But it is still a straight line. We're not going to go left or right, just like before. After zooming forward, we're going to reach this LRT, Light Rail Transit. Sorry for the traffic, but it's always traffic in this area. Once you pass that stoplight, you have to be a little on the left side. You'll understand why in a few minutes. We are about to make a U-turn. But we're not going to go to the first U-turn slot. We need to go to the second U-turn slot in this area. I'll show you what I mean. Cartimar has been around for quite some time. People that goes to this place are usually cyclists, bikers, sometimes pet lovers, and in some rare cases, in some rare cases, you might even see a hobby shop. To be specific, a fishing shop. I can't seem to find that shop anymore. But of course, we're going to go for coffee. By the way, there's also a wet market inside Cartimar where you can purchase your favorite seafoods. There are multiple restaurants, some of them Korean, some of them Japanese, and sometimes Chinese. This kind of reminds me of Hong Kong cuisine, where every type of dish is out there in the open. Now, this is the U-turn slot I was kind of talking about. After making the U-turn, you need to somehow travel to the rightmost portion of the road. Do be careful. We are going to enter a certain street. Just inch your way to the right side, and there it is. This is called the Leveriza Road. It's another way to enter Cartimar. There's also another way to enter Cartimar via the LRT, but I always take this route. I find it closer to the parking. Now, a little further, and we just need to focus on our left side. We're going to find the corner where we just need to turn left, and that's the entrance to the parking. The streets here are kind of narrow, but it is, of course, a narrow street. It's Unfortunately, there are some vehicles that still park in this narrow street, on the left and right side. Sometimes we even have to inch a little further. The good thing is, the traffic here is not that severe, at least not at this time. The advantage of taking this route is, like I mentioned, you're going to find parking. Because once we enter Cartimar, it is filled with lots of parking places. We are already seeing some parts of it. You might already be seeing Cartimar right now. I know I can. And finally, we now have the corner where we're supposed to turn left. It's just a few feet away. We just need to signal that we're about to turn to the left side. But we're already here. And just take your pick. Take your pick of parking places. So, like I mentioned, there's lots of different shops here, but the coffee shop is a little hidden. In fact, I may need to show you how to get there. The only time I know that this coffee shop existed was when someone pointed it out. Hey, there's a coffee shop there. Why haven't you paid a visit? And it's already on our right side. But we're going to go to a different angle. I use another entrance, and I can now see it on my left side. This is called the Blue Wonder Coffee Shop, or more like the Blue Wonder Coffee Bean Roastery place. The one thing that I'm interested in this particular coffee shop is that they have coffee from different parts of the world. And this might be a little interesting. So, I'm interested in tasting the coffee that came from the Americas because we're going to talk about a certain coffee hero who was able to bring it to the West. But that's going to be a story for another time. Let's just pay a visit to this shop and let's also observe all the different trinkets that it actually sells, from syrup to different devices in order to make coffee. It is it is a bit of a curiosity on how to make coffee. There are multiple ways to create coffee, just like multiple ways on how it actually spread to the world. My favorite method in producing this beverage is using the French press technique, where you just mix the ground coffee with hot water, stir it a little, and using a device to press it downwards, it will produce the most flavorful coffee, in my opinion. But that's just me. Everyone prefers to drink their coffee differently. I was an instant coffee drinker once, but someone pointed out that it might not actually be healthy, so I'll go for natural. The Blue Wonder Coffee Bean and Roastery also sell different coffee paraphernalia, from aprons to kettles to teacups and coffee mugs. Now, we are lucky that the Philippines can produce its own coffee. We are in the equatorial area. Coffee cannot be grown in any other location but near the equator. In other words, it has to be nearly tropical for some cases. The only type of coffee that I try to avoid are sweetened coffee. So I really am trying to kick the habit of drinking something that have more calories than my actual meal. I'll go with black coffee. I do prefer the flavor of just black coffee. Coffee isn't supposed to be bitter. A well brewed coffee doesn't need cream or sugar. You don't need to mask its taste. Besides, I really love the smell of coffee. If you have time, pay a visit to this place called the Blue Wonder Coffee Bean and Roastery. And once you're here, just enjoy your cup.